I do believe those were two very loud boos coming from the audience, but not for these two. These two are two Republican strategists, Tara Setmeyer and Cheri Jacobus, and they're live with me now to try to sort of pick apart what we saw happening there, ladies. You know, you never want to be booed if you're a candidate during a debate, but it doesn't seem to matter much for Donald Trump when that happens. Although this was very pointed. This was very specific about a touch point, immigration for the Republican Party. I'll start with you, Cheri. Is this going to be a chasm that is irreparable for the Republicans? Immigration?
I don't think so. I mean, people do care about border security, but what Donald Trump is proposing and the big promises he's making are not realistic. So John Kasich, you know, while a lot of people panned his performance last night in other areas for good reason, he actually provided a very valuable service last night by injecting a dose of reality into this debate. After months and months of these big promises, big beautiful wall, we're going to send them out, then we're going to bring it back in without any idea how to pay for it, how to execute this, who's going to be doing it, what agency, is it going to be military? And so for Governor Kasich to step forward and inject that dose of reality, again, difficult. Some people don't like it, but I think thinking Americans and Republicans are going to say, you know, the guy's got a point.
You make such a good point. And then you look at where he's standing on the stage, and it's way out on the periphery where his poll numbers are. And that's my point, Tara. Yes, what John Kasich says is legitimate, it's plausible, it's understandable. You cannot put millions of people, let's just say, on trucks and trains and ship them out like that. But people like what they hear from Donald Trump, and that's why I ask about the chasm.
Well, I think it's because people are so sick and tired of the entitlement of the illegal immigration lobby that's saying, like, listen, we should be here. We have rights to be here. We should get benefits. We should get health care. We should let our kids go to school. And the American people are going, wait a minute, you don't have a legal right to even be in this country. Who are you to sit there and make demands? And I think the American people are tired of it. The wages are being obviously tired enough to allow someone like Donald Trump, who is proposing something that's completely not possible, with mass deporting people, not possible. We already know that, but enough for the fact that enough to tap into GOP primary voters are going, well, you know what? It's either the pendulum has swung so far the other way that the tough talk Trump is offering, that's what propelled him into the spotlight in the first place. Well, I don't support Donald Trump in the rhetoric, but I understand why there's frustration with that. The winner of that exchange was Ted Cruz, who came in and leveled the playing field and said, wait, hold on here. We need to talk border security, and if it were, you know, if there were journalists and bankers that were coming in bidding down your wages, maybe people would have a different point of view. And just because we want to be law-abiding and enforce our border security in this country, we're not anti-immigrant.
Well, and border security matters, but that's separate from deportation. But again, if this focuses Washington on border security, then that's a net gain.
Let me get you on another issue, and that is that the Trumpisms that emerge from every podium where he's live, and last night was no different, although much more muted than what we're normally used to seeing. This exchange that came right after, I think Carly Fiorina had jumped in on a few other candidates' comments and maybe taken time that wasn't allotted to her. Not something the other candidates didn't do. They all did it. But this was the reaction that Trump gave her. Have a look.
Ronald Reagan was strong, but Ronald Reagan didn't.
And Ronald Reagan walked away at Reykjavik. He walked away. He quit talking when it was time to quit talking.
Can I finish with my time?
Why does she keep interrupting everybody?
Yeah.
Boy, terrible.
Yeah, I'd like to finish.
Okay.
I'd like to finish my response.
That was boo number 2. Everybody did the interrupting, but Donald Trump chose to use that tone and those words about Carly Fiorina. Once again, does that cause a problem for him with women or women voters, or is he made of Teflon when it comes to these things?
Look, she emasculated him in an earlier debate when he appeared to be sexist. She was not the one that was doing the most of the interrupting, and he wasn't even the one being interrupted. So for him to do that, it made him look petty and small. I do want to say one other thing about this. Last night, he sat there, as did Ben Carson, but Donald Trump sat there and basically did not seem to be aware of the details of the issues being discussed. He was like a child on that stage around the grown-ups, and this was supposed to be his wheelhouse. Remember, this was about the economy. So for the only things for Donald Trump to really be known for and remembered for from this debate debate was his snide remark to Carly Fiorina and some of the other comments that he made, rather than on substance, which on the economy, again, his big issue. I don't think it's going to hurt him with his core supporters, but he certainly did not gain supporters last night.
Well, this is where the ceiling discussion about Trump support comes up, because Cheri's absolutely right about that. Not only was Donald Trump exposed, so was Ben Carson. When people start to think and reevaluate who they really want to occupy the White House, who actually needs to make these decisions, like on foreign policy, which is one of the primary responsibilities of the presidency, it was clear that Donald Trump and both Ben Carson were completely out of their league on those issues. And frankly, I was surprised that Donald Trump was so muted on the issues of the economy. And, everyone had 90 seconds. He never used his full 90 seconds. Someone pointed that out, and I thought that was interesting. Right, because they don't have any depth. It exposes
and on the
have no
heels of
depth
the
in their policy.
undercard debate was so filled with substance, and then you had these two guys, and then Rubio comes in, and he's substantive.
I was missing Chris Christie after I saw him.
It was a stark contrast.
Undercard. I missed him on the big stage,
We'll see
and
if he
who
makes it
knows
to the next one.
Who knows what happens, because the numbers do shift after each of these contests, if we want to call it that. Cheri Jacobus, Cheri Jacobus, thank you both. Nice to see you. As always, we'll have you back again.